and you don't want to do the first step. And
right, so you got your phone in one hand, and then you've got to be trying to reach for your wallet and try to get your card out.
So it's too much work. And as statistics in Sweden is, in the payments area, 70% of Swedish people want to use their money from their accounts.
Hey, Carita.
Hi.
Welcome to our podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's really good to have you here, and especially in the store here, the Scan and Pay store. Yeah, I thought just to start with, this podcast is really about technology in the commercial real estate and the built environment. So I really wanted to speak to Coop and speak to you guys about, what you're doing with retail and the future of retail. I think it's a really interesting subject for our listeners. So that's really the purpose of today. And I thought maybe a good place just to start is with who Coop are and what Scan and Pay is.
Sure. Coop, today we are a quite old company, but established in everywhere in Sweden. We have over 850 stores from the north to the south. Mm-hmm. And Coop Scan and Pay is actually a product that we launched last year, new customer experience product. It's a digital product that we wanted to come in the store with, mm-hmm. and make the customer experience really easy, but at the same time give the right information for the customers. And I think this is just the beginning of something much bigger. We are on a journey. But Coop Scan and Pay, it's an app right now, but behind it's also a platform, but it's an app that you download. And when you go in the stores, you scan your products, mm-hmm. with the app. Mm-hmm. And you get also your promotions, and if the prices are depending, if you're a member, we give the member prices. And then when you are finished, you just click the pay, and then you're ready to go out, mm-hmm. from the store.
Okay.
So no standing on the lines.
No queues.
Yeah.
Good. Again, and you've mentioned user experience there. I think that's really important, and something I wanted to come on to later in the conversation. But maybe as well, you could just explain, how did you come up with the concept? You mentioned it's from last year, right? You launched.
Yes. Yeah, the first version was actually launched in one store as the first test version in just beginning in the summer. So we wanted to come it out really fast. We did this actually in 3 months. So it went really fast, the first version. And the idea was that we want to experience this together with our customers. Mm-hmm. So we do understand what the customers want. So we use a lot of the data from that also. So the development that's been done after that is really based on the information we do together. Yeah. Not sitting on the office and thinking we think this is good.
Of course, yeah.
Of course, we've done that too, mm-hmm. And will do. But it's quite interesting what changes it comes on the way when you really experience in the stores and let the customers do it themselves.
No, absolutely, right?
Yeah.
With this kind of minimum viable product, right? So get something out there, like you said, 3 months, and then test it with real people, find out how they use it. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
And the user experience was one important, because it's easy to say that this needs to be easy. What does really that mean? What is easy? And the experience that we've seen is that there's so many registrations you need to do if you download something, or you need to tell your name, your email, your phone number, and what you like. And usually you already lost your customer there. So what we put an effort on was really to get the experience for the beginning so easy, so you just can start using it when you download it, and afterwards, if you want better promotions, your member offers, then you can log in.
I think that's a great point, because I think app tiredness, it's a real thing. Well, speaking just from my experience, right? I know anecdotally, but I'm actually quite careful about what apps go on my phone and what don't. Like, if I don't feel like they're going to be of a benefit to me, I'm very cautious about putting them on. I mean, it certainly makes sense to me. But you alluded a bit earlier about the user experience. Like, maybe we could just go through that a little bit more. So, what happens when someone comes to the shop first? How does the process develop? Go forward, develop?
Yeah, actually, we launched this on the beginning of summer. Then we had a store open, Hagastaden, a new store, a Coop store, and the store actually was designed for this product. So we wanted to connect the journey in the stores together with the with this product, because the journey starts you don't need to you can start putting stuff on your bag. So if you want to buy a bag, you do that in the beginning, not in the end of the journey. So this was this experience that how we designed the store, small details, how give the information that the customer understands to download the app and make the experience as easy as possible, so they just understand what the communication is. So there's actually, we will really focus on three steps, because usually customers don't want to read too many. If you have information or instructions that is too many steps, then you lost the customer. So we have three: just download the app, start scanning, and pay it. So those were the focus that. And if it isn't easy enough, then we need to do it better. And we've done quite a lot of changes through this from October until now. New functions, but also small details in the design. Because there's always stuff you think like, okay, who is the most digital person in the generations? Are the youngsters and oldsters, and I'm really happy because we have I think one of our oldest customers is like 85.
Oh wow! Nice.
Yeah, and he's really into it, love it, and the questions that we get is totally new under 20 years. We didn't expect the questions, and that was more connected to the communication, how we communicate about the product. So we had to learn also that maybe it's a little bit different for the youngsters than we thought.
Yeah, right. You can't just assume that everyone under 20 is. Yeah. Well, although they are digital native, they're perhaps not into technology. Yeah. I mean, also then, so you that process here, you said like 6 months from October. Well, we're in March now. Maybe you could explain. I mean, what have you learned about user experience? Like, what are some of the changes that you've made to the product?
The changes is a lot of connected to small stuff like little bit colors, the lightening, just to see the buttons, how they push the buttons, how they experience if they want to add or take away the product. So it's quite small details, but it's valuable for the customer. In the payment area, that is still something we are working on, because we see what is used. We have really changed the market, because the store Hagastaden that we start using this in October. Right now, 60% of the customers are using this product, Scan and Pay. So you can think that 60% of the traffic is moved away from the traditional cashier to Scan and Pay. That's the first big difference, and they actually are staying there, so they are not going back to the cashier. They love it, and that's good design. That the product is good in the easy to use. The next one is actually on what kind of payment methods they are choosing, and that's a big change too. They don't use the card; they use Swiss. The really big Swedish.
Right, yeah, I was going to say, if anyone outside of Sweden may not know, but there's things like Cash App, I think, in the US, which is the same thing. It's just like a digital payment platform.
I think there's no country that one product is so established. You have so many users.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, but the reason here why are our customers using this, it's also because it's a lot about what can you do with one finger or thumb, like push, like and there is Swiss really easy. The card solution are still a little bit too difficult, and we are actually discussing a lot with the cars issues. What can you do? How can we make it easier for the customers? Because they're using one hand, and you don't want to do the first step. And
right, so you got your phone in one hand, and then you've got to be trying to reach for your wallet and try to get your card out.
So it's too much work. And as statistics in Sweden is, in the payments area, 70% of Swedish people want to use their money from their accounts. And this you can do with the card, but you can do it with Swish too. So we really move the traffic from one payment method to another really in actually really short time. It's not like a couple of years. If you look at contactless, it took in Sweden 4 years to come from 10% to 48%, that is right now, and we have it 65% maybe there. But we move the traffic in 3 months from one payment method to another. And only reason is about the user experience. How easy is it? And I think this is something that you really need to be on your toes if you're gonna launch product, because it goes really fast right now. The changes go fast
in payments and what people want. And you have to keep up with that. In the development cycle. One question I had is like, obviously it's automated. You do it yourself. You pick up your products, maybe put them in a bag, and then obviously you need to leave the store. And there's these barriers, right? Which I guess you swipe a code or something, right, to allow you out, right? But have you noticed any increase in shrinkage or stealing from?
Not yet. We are doing quite a lot research in this area. So of course there will be behaviors, but we do a lot of AI analysis, like how you scan, if you scan more products and so I think we're going to use a lot of AI in the future. But we haven't seen yet, but it's something we looked.
So that would allow you to identify sort of weird behavior. So then you could have a member of staff sort of approach someone as they leave. Okay.
Then we use also that we have in Sweden called the bank ID.
Which is Again, identification system for Swedish citizens.
And I would almost could say that in Sweden you don't survive today if you don't have bank ID.
I can account to that.
Everyone has it.
Absolutely.
And it's quite interesting because this is something, when you do an identification, you do understand that, okay, they know who I am. And I think that helps, because what we do is we do the bank identification in Scan and Pay if you want your member offers. So we do the identification, then we know who you are, and I think that helps a lot in that area too.
And are you? Is there then sort of? You're able to sort of interact with the customers a little bit more there because of course with the app, then you can push offers to people based on what they've bought previously. I mean, have you seen that like? This Scan and Pay concept has helped you sort of stay in touch with the customer more?
I think the interesting part, but it might be too early to say, but we can actually already say that the customers that use Scan and Pay buy more.
Okay.
And so you could think that like you go scan and you get the price indication directly instead of you put it in your bag and you go to the cashier, and so you could think that you would probably get more stuff the old way, if I call it that. But it's they buy a little bit more.
Little thing. I mean, I've used it. Just something I found kind of useful as well. Like it's very easy. And once you scan something, straight away you see what the price is as well. And I know sometimes, obviously, it's usually written there, but it's quite good because you can also see, like, as you put things in your basket, like how much, it tallies up what the total is as well, which is it's kind of useful feature.
Yeah, and last week we launched the digital receipts. And this is something we also do in different way compared with other actors in the market. So what we want to do is make the receipt really more live. So you have value on the information, so you understand, okay, what am I buying? And we are a lot of into the sustainability and what are the products and how they're produced. If customers are interested in that area, there will be a lot of functions connected to your health. So we will be helping the customer if there's some kind of allergy. So we can inform them that, okay, in that products there's some nuts or.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah. So we are hoping that you get so much information that is valuable for you through this.
Right, beyond just this kind of scrap of paper that we get at the moment with things written on it. Yeah. Interesting. I mean, also, like, I think people listening will be interested in the technology behind it. Could we talk a little bit about that? I mean, obviously you have the app. That's something you've developed. Did you have a partner for that?
The development have we done ourselves, but of course with partners. Just also we have design partners. But the interesting thing here is because we talk about an app, but the app is the easiest one. We really have built a platform behind. And the idea is really to be able to connect the different information that we will be able to change the customer journey in an easy way or add some functions. So I think that's something, and it's something that we have built ourselves just to be able to think the next step, because I believe this is just the beginning. Amazon Go is using the camera technique. We're using the scan technique here, but I think we are probably going there, but it's too expensive still. You cannot motivate it yet with the cost, but we are already doing testing.
Right.
So we don't want to just connect to an app. It's more the technique behind.
Right. So build that platform so you can, as we go into the future, you can extend as you go. Yeah. And
also make it easier for our partners to integrate, like, It can be small stuff or bigger stuff, but it's all from like, okay, let's change the voice. You want to change. You have a other voice when you scan, like instead of blip, you want to maybe a song or something like that. We don't need to do that ourselves. Maybe we just open the door, allowed someone else to do it. So you can put on some add-on functions. And that way help the total community in developing the product.
You mentioned earlier when we were talking off camera about one of the stores you have in Gävle. So it's not manned.
Yes.
And then does the app then allow you to get access to that store as well?
Yeah. So what we're doing in that store that we don't have staff in, people working on, is that we use the same product, scan and pay, but it's also a door opener. So you log in with the app, you identify yourself
with the bank ID.
With the bank ID, so we know who's going to the store, and you do the same stuff. You scan and then you pay and you go out, and
hopefully shut the door behind you.
Yeah. There is, of course, a lot of camera technique in that stores, I would say, first for the security reasons. But the customer really likes it. And I think this could be a change maker. Like, if you look at behind a couple of years, everything is moving to the cities. Maybe this is the way, start opening small stores.
In rural areas, to bring back retail to those communities. Yeah, no, absolutely.
But and I can tell you a funny story about that too, because there's also experiences for us to really to understand how is the experience. This was the first store we opened, and in the first week, I think I got some emails or reports that we have some difficulties to open the door, and we were like, what? Okay. we have a problem. Let's solve it. Until like in this time of year, there's a lot of snow in Gävle.
Right.
So the customers, what they did, they actually sat in the car and start opening the door in the car. They didn't want to stand outside, so they were not close enough the door. So that was the reason. But still, it wasn't a customer experience that we needed to understand, okay, when it's really cold or rainy, maybe it's not so good to stand here. You need to stand really short while. So that was actually much learning, small stuff.
Yeah, right,
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah,
about this
yeah.
kind of behaviour, which you wouldn't have known, right, if you hadn't tested it. Great. And this platform you've built then, do you expect other people, like other developers, to be able to interact with that? So we will be open doors, so we could add functions. So right now we have this product in 40 of our stores, so we are really rolling out to all 800 stores, hopefully in quite short time is the goal. It takes a little bit of time because you also need to work with the customers. But I'm really happy how fast the customers has started using it in the stores that we already have it. And we get a lot of emails. When is it coming in my store? Okay, that's great.
Yeah, and actually other companies has connected us and asked, can we use your product in our stores? So who knows?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Another revenue stream.
Yeah, absolutely.
You mentioned a little bit about the future of retail. I mean, obviously this is going to be for you guys anyway, a big part of that as you roll it out. And we talked about this platform. I mean, are there other things that you have in development that you can mention quickly?
Yeah, we're doing a lot of work, of course, connected to the online shopping also. So online and someone called it offline when you go in store experience, how we connect this in a good way. When you're at home, you want to scan your products at home, making shopping list, how you share with other ones in your family or friends, make it easier to save their information. So we're doing quite a lot of development there because we see that because of this last year, there's a lot of traffic that moved. Actually, it's been a quite great year for the online.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because of the COVID. But I think I think there will be different kind of shopping journeys. What do you want to go to the store and experience, and what you actually have accepted that let's bring it home. Someone delivering instead,
Right, okay, because you're then offering different experiences, right?
Yeah.
So maybe, with the scan and pay
Yeah.
app, you can then give someone a different experience when they come to the store, like push, vouchers or discounts to them as they come,
Yeah, you give the information, but you can also give them more personal information because we learn so much about the customer. So we want to give you the right offer. We usually know much more about you if you allow that. What would you want to know, or how much money do you have today when you come to the store? So what would be the right products today, before or after salary, or stuff like that also. So it's all about helping the customer if the customer wants that help.
Yeah.
We don't want to push too much. It needs to be just the right level.
Nudging.
Yeah.
Or suggesting.
Yeah. But we're coming with a quite great function here in a week. We call it the new skins that we put it on scan and pay. So we start communicating, and this is also a platform we have built behind. So we can add different products and campaigns we want for specific area or specific store. So it makes it easier to different stores to be unique. Maybe
offer like sort of a unique experience to their environment and whatever town that they happen to be in.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Great. That's really interesting, and I think it's a great initiative, and it sounds like it's going really well. So, congratulations, and it'll be interesting to watch how it develops.
Thank you.
And then thanks for your time today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Karita.